Emma, you're the only one that wasn't here for study guide. I think you'll be okay for tomorrow, but if for some reason you're not, I just don't know, like, this week if I'll stay all day for you to take it at another time. But if you need more time, you just need to let me know, because they had extra days in here when you weren't. All right, so number 1, anything to the 0 power is 1. So that's your answer on that one. And y'all, if you forget, type it in your calculator. If their number is in parentheses and you type it in the calculator, what should your number be in? Parentheses, okay? So make sure you put the negative 4.2 in parentheses. Otherwise, your calculator may give you a negative 1, and it's not. It's just 1. All right, number 2, the first thing you'll do is take that number and we'll flip it, right? Like that. Does that make sense? I just moved it to the denominator and that became positive. Now, that negative is outside of parentheses. If you're not sure what the answer is going to be, type it in your calculator just like that, and it will tell you that, oh, well, I guess it's D. But I would have, if I would have kept going, I would have gotten this. Okay, and it would have been a negative. But your answer is D. Are y'all good with that one? Yep. Okay. And if I get to going too fast, you just need to tell me. Number 3, you only have one thing to move. Which one is the one you have to move? The G to the negative 2. So you have 8 D to the 6th over G squared. And that one is D. Okay, number 4, there's only one thing to move. Which one is it? The A. So I'm going to leave my 3, put my A to the 9th up here, and my B down there. I'll just leave it. Everybody's good with that one? Yeah? Okay. Number 5. All right, on this one, I would move everything first, and then we actually plug in some numbers. Look, I may just write this on paper. All that up and down, I don't have the energy for that today. So let me just get some paper out. Number 5, it says 4x to the negative 3, y to the 3rd. And here's our 2 answers. Okay. So which one needs to be moved? The x. So I will leave those 2 and move my x so that it becomes a positive exponent. All right, now we'll plug these numbers in. So I have 4 times negative 1 to the 3rd. And then down here, I have 3 to the 3rd. Is everybody okay with that? I moved my x. And then I just plugged in those 2 numbers. Y was negative 1, x is 3. And then I just have to work them out. Okay, what is negative 1 to the 3rd power? It's negative 1. And what's 3 to the 3rd power? 27. So I get negative 4 over 27. So that one was B. Number 5 is B. Number 6. Okay, on this one, just make sure you read your instructions. It doesn't really want us to solve it. It just wants us to write our answer with that base written one time. What is the base number? It's the 8. And then if I have 8 and 4, how many do I have? 12. 8 to the 12th. Number 7 is the same thing. It has negative 5 to the negative 5 and negative 5 to the 6th. So what's my base number? Negative 5. And then what's negative 5 plus 6? 1. Negative 5 to the 1. Which in this case, I don't see one that's written like that. What's your answer on that? It's A. It's just negative 5. Are we good with that? Yeah? Okay, number 8. I feel like we're just flying through these. 2b to the negative 1 times 5b to the 10th. So what's 2 times 5? 10. Those are just numbers out front. We call those coefficients later. So it's 10. And then I have negative 1 and 10. We add these exponents. What's negative 1 plus 10? B to the 9. Number 9. X to the 8. 2y to the 10th. 5x to the 5th. Okay, what is 2 times 5? 10. All right, now my x's, what do I have? I have 8 and 5 more. So x to the 13 and y to the 10. And let's see, which answer is that? D? Yeah. Number 9 is D. What's that noise? What is that? Is that TV? That noise out there? Are people talking? I don't know. You don't hear that? I couldn't tell if it's somebody or a show. It's the show. Okay. Okay, let me make sure I wrote all that down right. This one's forever long. Okay. Now, all right, let's look at our numbers first. We have negative 4, 2, and 5. What is negative 4 times 2 times 5? Yep, I got negative 40. So I'm going to write that down. And look, if it helps, like if there's so many things, you can kind of mark off whatever you get done. Okay, now let's look at our x's. I have 3 and negative 8. How many is that going to leave me with? Negative 5. Okay, so there's my x's. And then my last thing, my y's, what's negative 2 plus 5? Positive 3. So the only thing that I need to do to finish this one is move the x, right? So my negative 40 y to the 3rd stays, and my x to the 5th moves down there. That's B. Okay, that is page 1. Any questions on page 1 before I move on? Emma, how are you with it? You're fine so far? Okay. Y'all had gotten all those? It's super easy? I hope y'all did great on this test. Okay, let's move on to page 2. All right, we have scientific notation. So 7 times 10 squared, and then 7 times 10 to the 5th. So what's 7 times 7? 49. And then let's add those exponents. So that's 10 to the what? 10 to the 7th. Now, if you put this as your answer, I will give you partial credit. You are somewhat correct. The problem is that's the number 49. You can only have one digit in front of the decimal. Okay? We have 49. Both of those are. So I have to move this to the left 1 to make it 4.9. Here's the thing. I have to change this. So what do? If you move it to the left, you add 1. So it should be 10 to the 8th. When in doubt, let me see if you could type this in on your calculator to see if you get the same answer. Watch. I don't know if you can. 49 times 10 to the 7th is that. Okay? And let's see if 4.9 times 10 to the 8th is the same thing. So do y'all see how you could check your answer and see? So like tomorrow, that's what I would forget. That's the stupid kind of thing that I would forget is, crud, do I add 1 or subtract 1? Well, that's partial credit, but when you go to move it to the left, you're supposed to add 1. So again, let's just put them in and see. If it was 49 times 10 to the 7th, if I move it to the left and put 10 to the 8th, do I get the same answer? Yes, so it is 10 to the 8th. Watch, what if I would have subtracted 1? What's 4.9 times 10 to the, if I'd have subtracted 1, does that give me the same answer? No. So you knew, oh, okay, I need to add 1. Does that help anybody to remember your rule? Okay. And if for some reason your calculator doesn't, like, it keeps spitting it out in scientific notation, you can bring me your calculator, okay, because I can help change it for you. All right, so that's number 11. Number 12, it says 256 to the 1/4. Okay, best way to put that or to do that is to just type it in your calculator. Okay, I would just do 256 to the, I'm using my old calculator. So I put it in a fraction. Let me grab my new calculator. I get 4. Did y'all get 4? Oh my gosh. Okay, 256 to the 1/4. This one's a little bit different on my calculator. So we get 4. All right. Number 13. We're doing fine? Yeah? Is this too easy? No? I wish it was. I wish y'all were like all going to make an A tomorrow. That would be fantastic. Okay, number 13. P to the 6th square. So the key is remembering the rules. What do you do on this one? You don't add, you multiply. And y'all look, think about it. This test is going in order. We added things, okay? We've been through all the ones that we add. Now we're getting into, okay, now we're multiplying. Did we do anywhere we subtract? No, we're not to that yet. So we did a whole bunch of adding. Then, now we're getting to, okay, there's a change. So now I need to multiply. What's 6 times 2? 12. There we go. That is P to the 12th. All right, number 14. Okay, so these two, that's what I need to do first. What do I do with those two numbers? Multiply. Okay, it's just like 6 and 2 when they're in like out like a power to a power, multiply. So what's 2 times negative 9? Yeah, so I'm going to bring that one down, and then I've got m to the negative 18. Now what do I do with these two? I'm multiplying, so we add. You have to be able to tell on that. So what's 7 plus negative 18? Negative, what did we say, 11? And then what do you do? Oh, then they left it like that. I wish they wouldn't have. If it were me, I would have put this. But do y'all see how they left that as the answer? I don't know why. Any questions on this one, y'all? You have to remember your rules. Multiply, and here we add. Okay, here's another one. Negative h to the 4th to the 5th. What do you do with those two numbers? Multiply. So it's negative h to the, what's 4 times 5? 20. There you go. If you didn't put parentheses, that would have been fine. All right, everybody ready for number 16? Okay, what do you do with this exponent out here? Multiply. It's kind of like distributing it. So we've got negative 5 squared. Does anybody know what negative 5 squared is? What's negative 5 times negative 5? Positive 25. Be careful, that's positive. Now let's keep going. It's going to be g to the, what is 4 times 2? 8. H to the, what is 6 times 2? 12. Okay, no number here, so it's just g to the, what is 5 times 5? And h to the, what is 5 times 5? All right, are we good so far? And does everybody know why we got positive 25? Negative 5 times negative 5 was positive. Okay, now what do you do with all these g's and h's? You combine them, right? So what's the rule here? What do we do with the exponents? Add them. All right, so I'm going to bring over my 25. Let's look at g's. I've got 8 and 25. How many is that? 33. Okay, now h's, what is that? I've got 12 and 25. 37. There you go. So that one is C. Number 17, t to the 11th over t squared. All right, now another change. I went from adding exponents, multiplying exponents. Now what am I about to do? Subtract. What's 11 minus 2? T to the 9. That's your answer on that one.
On like 18, how do you know whether to put like the C on the bottom or the top?
After you subtract, if you're going to subtract them, then you put them at the top. Then you may have to move it. But once you subtract, it goes to the top. Okay? So, on this one, we're subtracting, and we just have two things we're subtracting. So, like, what's 9 minus 14? Negative 5. Okay, and then, be careful here. What's negative 7 minus negative 10? Positive 3. Okay, so I went ahead and put my answers. Now, does anything have to be moved? Yes, what has to be moved? The C. The C is going to go down here, and it becomes a positive 5. Does that help you, Chloe, on that? So anytime you subtract, it just always moves to the top. But then you might have to, like on this, in this case, the D moved to the top and it stayed. The C moved to the top and then we had to move it again. So, okay, number 19. Or how was that page? How was page 2? Are we good? Yeah? All right. Page 3. Number 19. I've got 4k to the 4th over 7c to the 3rd. All of that is raised to the 3rd power. Each of those things. So what is 4 to the 3rd power? Well, you can type it in your calculator if you need to. 4, yep, 4 to the 3rd power is 64. What do you do with these two exponents? You have to remember that rule. You multiply k to the 12th. This one is 7 to the 3rd power. What is that, 343? Yeah. 343. And then what do you do with these two numbers? Multiply. What's 3 times 3? 9. There you go. So, and I don't think 64. Oops. Can't reduce it. Okay. Number 20. And y'all stop me if you have a question. The best way to do this one, well, does anybody know the cube root of 27? What is it? 3. Yeah. Some of you might just know what it is. 3 times 3 times 3. So it's 3. But if you don't, you can just type it in your calculator. I just press the math button. And then this is a cube root. See the little 3 on the root? Or you can pick this one and type it in yourself. So you could do a cube root of 27. You can type it in yourself or pick the cube root, okay? Everybody good with that one? 21, I scratched through it. Didn't I teach it though? Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and go over it. I don't know if it's on the test. In a second, I'll kind of go through the test and tell y'all what's on there. But are y'all getting tired of it? Yeah. Y'all want me to do all of them or not? Yeah, okay. On this one, they just want us to change this from a fraction. So the 3 is fine. It's out here by itself. What's my root? What's the number in the bottom? So it's the 8th root. And then what was left over? X to the 3rd. Okay? But the 3 stayed outside because the 3 didn't have that exponent. Okay, number 22. Is that linear or exponential? So remember, if you're adding the same thing, it's linear. If you're multiplying, it's getting bigger and bigger faster. That's exponential. So from 8 to 11, 11 to 14, 14 to 17, I'm adding. So we said that one is linear. Do I need to explain that again, the difference? If you add, it's linear. If you multiply, it's exponential. Okay? Number 23, what is that one? Exponential. How do you know? The x is in the exponent. Okay? I'll put those up there. I know y'all couldn't see that. But on number 23, the x is in the exponent, so it's exponential. That's all you're looking for. Okay? Then this one, they give you the formula, nice and easy. They just said, okay, this function is what we have, and it says how much is the investment after 2 decades. So what are you plugging in for x? 2. So you're just going to do, on your calculator, 3,800 times 2 to the 2. 2 decades. So your answer is $15,200. That's how much it's worth. $15,200. Are y'all okay with that one? Yeah? All right, almost done. This one, you don't have to have a calculator to graph it. Do y'all want me to graph it with the calculator? Yes. So, and all you have to do is pick the graph that matches. If you go to y equals, you type in 3 times 5 to the x. And you press graph, and which one looks like it? It looks like it's either B or D. So let's compare. And it looks like, I'm trying to see. D, yeah, it does look like, I don't know.
It goes to -2, does it not?
Look, I'll just look at my table of values and see. Oh, hold on. That's crazy. There. If I go over 1 and up 15, which one looks like we would go over 1 and up 15? C or D?
Both.
Look, if I go over 1 and up 15, I'm on that. If I go over 1 and up 15, I'm right here. Is that on my graph? So it's not D, it's which one? B. See how it's nice to look at numbers? Over 0 and up 3. They both looked like they were at that point, but this is the difference. Okay? If you forget how to look at your table tomorrow, you can just ask me, but you just press second graph, and that will help you tell the difference. Don't forget to look at that. Okay, number 26, it says All right, you have this population of 8,600. That's your starting number, right? And it grows 3% each year. If it's growing, what do you have to put out front? 1.03. Do y'all remember that? I just taught this in Algebra 2, so I get confused on what I taught what class. So, does everybody understand that 3% is 0.03? So what I'm going to do is put 8,600 times, and it's 1.03. Does everybody know where we got 1.03? Yes, it's growth, so you put the 1, and 0.03 is the 3%. Now, I'm putting it to what power? After how many years? 3. So I'm going to put it to the third power. To the third. And this is what I would get. Again, I'll write it up here. I don't want to write it on my study guide. But you would type in 8,600, your starting amount, 1.03 to the x. But we plugged in, instead of x, we plugged in 3. And everybody knows where that number came from, right? You add 1 to it, and then 0.03 is 3%. Boys, y'all got that? Okay. The answer is B, yes. Then the next one, I'll let you know. I don't know if these are on there or not, but since we just learned them, we'll go over it. Okay, 27. Just hold on. Okay, for 27, I'll write it down here. What's my P? What's that starting amount? The principal is what? 2,100. So I would plug in 2,100 times 1 plus, what's my rate? 4%, so what is it? Point what? 0.04. Well, we're not doing the 1 because they put the 1 right here. And then what's my N? That's how many times it's compounded. A year. What does annually mean? Once a year. And then to the N, which was 1 times T. How many years?
6.
On this one? 4. Okay, so then all you have to do is type that all in your calculator. So I'm going to do that. I get 2,100 times 1 times 4? Yeah. So did y'all get 2,456.70? Yeah. And I went to 2 decimals. I don't know. I did because of money. You know, you'd have change. But I think, yeah, they did as well. So there's that one. All right. Y'all want me to do 28? Does anybody need a second to try it? No? Okay, I'll do 28. Y'all just look so bored. Yeah. All right, let's see. We get 700. That's the principal. That's the starting amount. 1 plus this one, what's the rate? 2.25. So it's 0.0225. That one's weird. Over how many times is it compounded a year? 4. And then that's 4 times how many? 6 years. And y'all, if this one is on there, I don't know yet, but if it is, I would put the formula for you. So if I type that in, 700 times 1 plus 0.0225 over 4 to the, what did I say? 4 times, that's not 46, it's 4 times 6. So I get $800.87. Okay? And that's the study guide.
Yay.
Do y'all want me to call out which ones are probably more likely to be on there? Let me see. I'm not sure. I got to figure out which test I'm using.
You won't. Why did you hook on?
I like the way this one.
Shake his hand. Hey, darling.
Okay, here you go. Y'all ready? There is one like number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I don't really like that one. Gosh. 6 and 7. 8, 9, and 10. And 11. Yeah, I'm like, I know there's not 20. Oh, well, I only took 3 off because there's like 25 problems. Okay, that's why. Okay, I did say 11. 12, 13, 14. I didn't put that one on there. Okay, hold on. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25. I think, let me see real quick on 25. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think that's a little bit easier to tell. Okay, sorry, so 25 and then 26 and 28. So I only took 3 off. I can make one now because yes. Yes. Do y'all want me to change the numbers? Okay. And I will print out the answers as well.